The Lonely Mother in the Village. In a quiet little village, there lived an old woman named Maria. She was small, gentle, and had kind eyes that always smiled. Her hands were rough from years of working in the fields, and her hair was silver like the morning mist. Maria lived in a small house at the end of a dusty road. The roof was old and the walls were cracked, but the house was full of warmth. Every corner held memories of laughter, love, and family. Many years ago, Maria had 3 children, David, Emma, and Lucas. When they were young, the house was full of noise. The children ran around the yard, chasing chickens, laughing under the sun. Maria worked hard every day to give them food, clothes, and love. She woke up before sunrise to cook rice and vegetables, and she stayed up late sewing clothes by the light of a small oil lamp. Her life was not easy, but she never complained. She was happiest when she saw her children smile. Whenever they cried, she wiped their tears. When they were sick, she stayed by their beds all night. She used to tell them, "My children, you are my heart. I don't need anything else in this world if you are happy." As the years passed, the children grew up. They went to school, made friends, and dreamed of a life beyond the small village. Maria was proud of them. She always said, "Go and see the world. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine." When they became adults, they all moved to the big city to work. At first, they wrote letters and called her often. They promised, "Mama, when we earn enough money, we'll take you to live with us." Maria smiled every time she heard their voices. She told everyone in the village how successful her children were. Her heart was full of pride and love. But slowly, the calls became fewer. The letters stopped coming. The months turned into years. Maria still waited. Every morning, she looked down the dusty road, hoping to see someone coming, maybe David with his big city clothes, or Emma with a bag of fruits, or little Lucas with his big smile. She cooked too much food, just in case one of them came home. Sometimes she placed 3 extra plates on the table and said softly, "Just in case my children come home today." The neighbors often asked, "Maria, why don't you go live with your children? You are old now. You shouldn't be alone." Maria smiled and answered, "Oh, they're busy. They have families and work. I don't want to bother them. They will come when they have time." But deep inside, her heart felt empty. Every night, she sat by the small window, looking at the stars. The sound of the wind was her only friend. She whispered to herself, "I hope they're happy. I just want to see them once more." The seasons changed again. The fields turned green, then yellow, then white with snow. The same road stayed silent, no footsteps, no laughter. Maria's hands became slower, her body weaker. But her love for her children never faded. One evening, she looked at an old photograph, a picture of her and her 3 children standing in front of their small house many years ago. Her eyes filled with tears, but she smiled softly. "They were so little then," she whispered. "How fast time goes." She placed the photo beside her bed and said a small prayer before sleeping. That night, the wind blew gently outside, carrying the sound of her heart, a mother's love that never ends. Many years passed. The small village changed little, but Maria grew older and weaker. Her back bent and her steps became slow. Still, every morning she opened her door and looked down the road, waiting. One cold winter morning, she whispered to herself, "Maybe today they will come." But the road was empty, covered with soft white snow. That evening, she lit a small candle and sat by the window. The house was very quiet. She looked at the picture of her children again. "My sweet children," she said softly. "I hope you are warm and safe." The candle burned low. The old woman closed her eyes and smiled gently, as if she saw something beautiful. The next morning, when a neighbour came to visit, Maria was still sitting in her chair, peaceful, calm, and gone forever. The news spread through the village quickly. Everyone was sad. The neighbour sent letters to Maria's children in the city. A week later, David, Emma, and Lucas all came home. They hadn't seen each other for a long time. When they stepped off the bus, they looked around quietly. The road was the same, the trees were the same, but everything felt different, colder somehow. As they walked to the little house, the wind blew softly, and the smell of wood and earth filled the air. The door was open. Inside, the house was clean but empty. A single photo stood on the table, their family picture. Next to it was a candle half melted. Emma started to cry. "Oh, Mama," she whispered, "we were too late." Lucas walked around the small kitchen. He saw the old teapot, the worn-out chair, and a scarf hanging by the door. "She kept everything the same," he said quietly. David found a notebook on the table. The cover was old and soft. When he opened it, he saw Maria's handwriting. The words were simple. "Today I made soup. I hope my children will come soon." It rained again. I miss their voices. I dreamed of Lucas last night. He was laughing. If I can see them once more, I will be happy. David couldn't read anymore. His hands were shaken. Tears filled his eyes. "We forgot her," he said. "All she wanted was to see us." The three of them sat together in silence. The house seemed to whisper with memories, the sound of laughter, the smell of cooking, the soft voice of their mother calling their names. That night, they stayed in the little house. None of them could sleep. Emma lit a candle by the window, just as their mother had done every night. In the morning, they went to the small graveyard behind the house. A new wooden cross stood there with the name Maria written on it. The sun was rising and light touched the snow, turning it golden. They stood there for a long time, not speaking. Finally, Lucas said, "She waited for us every day, and we never came." David nodded slowly. "We were busy chasing our own lives. We forgot the one who gave us everything." Emma placed a small flower on the grave and whispered, "I'm sorry, Mama. We love you. We'll never forget you again." When they left the graveyard, the wind blew gently through the trees, almost like a soft voice saying, "I forgive you, my children." From that day, the three siblings visited the village often. They repaired the old house, planted flowers in the yard, and kept a candle burning by the window, just like their mother used to do. The house was no longer lonely. It became a place of love again, a quiet reminder that a mother's heart never stops waiting and her love never fades. Moral of the story: do not wait to show love to your parents. Time moves fast, and one day it may be too late.